Nice meaning let's get started today. We gonna not talk about mediocrity is meaningful, the average case of living an average life something that we all dream about. In kindergarten, we received gold stars for being the teacher's helper in high school. We packed our schedules with sports, volunteering, and other extracurriculars to ensure that we stood out on college applications. And now as adults, we chase everything from promotions to social media platforms like in our quest to rise above being average. But what's wrong with being average? No, really, in a word inundating us with ways to optimize our lives. The word average can definitely carry a negative connotation. But look it up in the Webster Dictionary and you'll see the first definition is simply being about midway between extremes. Though perhaps it's the dictionary's second definition that incites feeling of insecurity, not out of the ordinary. Common, regardless of your age, it's natural to feel inadequate when headlines about 30 sometimes changing the world are everywhere. But despite what many people think, you have to reinvent the wheel to live full of happiness and purpose. In fact, we'd say that it can be a whole lot more fulfilling not to. It's perfectly acceptable to be someone who doesn't change the world, but instead quietly make their corner of it more compassionate. Licensed psychiatrist once wrote in an inspiring piece of psychology book that inspired me to dive deep into why an average life can still be magnificent. 1. And how this concept can help you to find peace with your purpose, family and friends and everyday people. It can be a big workload regardless of its scope. What being average does and doesn't mean. The average American owes more than $100,000 in household debt. According to Consumer Affairs, we spend over 4 hours a day on our phones and not knowing it. If you're looking purely at stats like these, understandable why you may not want to embody the average. But I'm offering a different perspective on the concept, the idea that your impact on others and your value to the world can be exceptional even if you don't involve hitting high societal benchmarks. Consider the teachers, janitors, nurses, drivers, cooks, and caregivers whose quiet labor keeps the world in motion. They may never be recognized as household names, but their work profoundly shapes lives. They may appear average on paper or on social platforms, but their impact is far from it. In a sense, being average can also mean accepting your insignificance. A notion that the realization that nothing we do or fail to do matters much at all. As I explained why that's a good thing, always put God first before others. We re-subjected to endless forget cultural reinforcement of the idea that a meaningful life involves doing something extraordinary. Putting a dent in the universe. Adding, what cosmic insignificance therapy does. Though is recalibrate the yardstick with which you measure what you pour into life and what's important from your perspective. Looking at it from this angle, being average can mean liberating yourself from both the exceptions of others and the comparison trap. People fall to prey to God due to a unified pseudometric of success hoisted upon them, in which they feel they have to meet certain parameters set by others to be considered valuable. Implicit assumption is that having more good things than others means being more valuable as a person. These hidden assumptions usually reveal deep-seated shame. The feelings that you are not entitled to set the parameters that define the success or failure of your own life. Now that we've explored what an average life can look like, let's touch on what it doesn't involve. It doesn't mean that nothing you do matters from your viewpoint. And it doesn't mean giving up on your goals and dreams and passions. Pursuing what you love, enhancing your skills. Striving for your dreams life, however that may look, are all worthy endeavors. And when you accept that you may not be the next famous person, as well understand that even exceptional people like very rich people like these are possible mediocre in certain areas of their lives. You're free to focus on other things, like living the way that feels best to you and God. Because most celebrities are probably just as clueless about life as the people who gawk at them and follow their every move. We're all, for the most part, pretty average and awesome people. It's the extremes that get all of the publicity. And we all kind of intuitively know this, but we rarely think or talk about it. The vast majority of us, well, anything. And that's okay. It's important to release yourself from the inclination to overachieve, easier said than done. As opposed to high performance who focus on the journey as well as your goals. Happy with your accomplishments. And remember to laugh at us. Good for the soul and the world. Thank you for watching.